Are you looking for the best handsaw? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best handsaw on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Shark 10 to 2315 Carpentry. For general-purpose wood cutting, the Shark 10 to 2315 Carpentry saw 15-inch has no equal. In our tests, it sliced through wood at least twice as fast as most of the other saws. On a single stroke through a piece of pine, this Shark saw went 30% deeper than the second speediest saw. In addition to being fast and aggressive, the 10 to 2315 was the most precise saw we tested, cutting along a marked line with easy accuracy. It also left the cleanest cut, producing very little shredding of the wood fibers and almost no blowout at the edges, even when we sent it through the delicate face of veneered plywood. The Shark 10 to 2315 cuts on the pull stroke, not the push stroke, as with traditional American saws, so it puts less strain on the arm. You could get a basic wood saw for $10 or $11, but this Shark model far exceeds those and is well worth its higher price tag. Number 2. Silky Pocket Boy 130mm. If you're okay with trading cutting speed for portability, we like the Silky Pocket Boy 130mm folding saw medium teeth 340-13. This Silky model is a pruning saw, designed for trimming branches, but in our tests it still made nice, clean cuts on lumber. Its blade is about 1/3 of the length of the blades of other saws we tested, so in comparison it takes a long time to make a cut, which gets exhausting but works fine for smaller, quicker tasks. The distinguishing feature here is how the Pocket Boy folds up, which both protects the blade and allows for very compact storage. In addition, it comes with a plastic carrying case, which enhances its protection and portability. We've been using this saw for years, and its combination of cutting power and portability have made it a tool we reach for often, whether we're making a quick cut on a board or looking for a saw to take on a camping trip. Number 3. Stanley 20-112 Clamping Miter Box. For a low-investment way to make accurate cuts with a handsaw, get the Stanley 20-112 Clamping Miter Box. This device stabilizes your saw blade at a variety of angles so that you can make straight, consistent cuts, which is especially helpful if you're joining the ends of 2 boards together. It's not a perfect option. Miter boxes can hold only relatively narrow pieces of wood, and inevitably you'll saw away a chunk of the plastic at some point. But compared with the other models we tested, this Stanley miter box has a larger capacity, and it comes with 2 little bench clamps that secure the wood to the bed of the miter box. The bad news: accompanying this miter box is a saw that's so ineffective and difficult to use that it might as well not even be there. The good news: this Stanley miter box is compatible with the Shark 10 to 2315, which we strongly recommend pairing with it. Number 4. Shark 10 to 2315 Carpentry. No other saw in our testing cut quite like the Shark 10 to 2315 Carpentry saw 15-inch. In fact, no other handsaw we've ever encountered has cut anything even close to how the Shark 10 to 2315 cuts. In addition to being the fastest saw we tested, it was also the most precise saw, keeping to a straight, clean cut line better than any of the others. Its cutting speed stunned everyone. None of the testers, us included, had ever seen a handsaw blow through wood the way this one did. It topped every single time test we did, making cuts in less than half the time of some of the other saws. When we pulled the Shark 10 to 2315 on a single stroke through a piece of 0.75-inch thick pine, it cut a line 1.75 inches deep, almost 30% more than the second-place saw. Aggressive cutting takes little effort. This saw is designed in the style of a Japanese kataba saw. It's a single-bladed saw that cuts on the pull stroke rather than on the push stroke as a traditional Western saw does. With a Western saw, you're basically jamming the blade into the wood in order to cut, which is exhausting and can cause the saw blade to buckle and bend. But with the Shark 10 to 2315, you're only drawing the blade back through the wood. Number 5. Irwin 12-inch General. Coming in right behind the Shark 10 to 2315 is the Irwin 12-inch General Carpentry Saw 213101. Like the Shark saw, this Irwin model is a 10 teeth per inch kataba-style pull saw with a replaceable blade, but this blade is only 12 inches long, as opposed to 15. Our testers found that the handle of the Irwin saw was slightly more comfortable than that of the Shark saw, but it cut slower in part because of its shorter blade. When we cut a pressure-treated 2x6, the Irwin 213101 took 12 seconds, while the Shark 10 to 2315 took 8 seconds. Other Western saws took as much as 29 seconds, so it would be a mistake for us to call this Irwin model a slow saw. It's just slower than the Shark saw. The Irwin 213101 also snagged a bit as it cut when we used it at a 45-degree angle, which the Shark 10 to 2315 never did.